belt is on the line. When featherweight world champion Cyborg makes her first title defense against Australia's Arlene Angerfist Blencowe. Live and free, Bellator MMA, tonight on CBS Sports Network.
It was magnificent in Milan. History was made in France, but man, it is good to be home. Bellator returns to the Mohegan Sun Arena, and later tonight in our main event, the title is on the line. Cyborg Arlene Blencowe for the belt in the featherweight division. That will come your way on CBS Sports Network. Also, in the co-main event, Patricki Pitbull welcomes Jaleel Willis back to the Bellator cage. Bandejas and Ego is an outstanding fight. And Syed Awad said, I had a bad 2019, and I'm going to take it out on Mandel Nallo. That is our main card later tonight, 10 in the East, 7 in the West. We get started in the welterweight division. Castriot Gemma. He returns to the Bellator cage for the 8th time. His opponent is Big Albert Gonzalez. Our tail of the tape for our first preliminary matchup. 3 victories for Gemma. 1 looking for number 2 is Big Al. Big John, they are both 28 years old.
They're both 28, but look at that reach difference. Big Al Gonzalez with a huge 8-inch reach advantage.
And how nice is it to get it back to the voice, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Bellator 249 as Bellator returns to Mohegan Sun Arena, where we get the prelims underway now with 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing the blue corner first. At 6 foot, weighing in 169.7 pounds. His professional record 3-4. He fights out of Greenwich, Connecticut, Castriot Slaughterhouse Gemma. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 6'4", weighing in 169.5 pounds. As a professional early on, he stands at 1-2. He fights out of Fresno, California, Albert Big Al Gonzalez. In charge of the action, your referee, Brian Miner.
Brian Miner, our referee. Our first preliminary matchup here on the Bellator YouTube channel from the Mohegan Sun Arena. Gemma and Gonzalez. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
You ready? Come on, fight.
Here we go. Gonzalez in the red gloves, Gemma in the blue gloves. Gemma, the southpaw, he'll switch his stance. Gonzalez works from the orthodox stance. Tonight's fight clock is presented by Geico. Mike Goldberg, Big John McCarthy, and of course, Josh Thompson with us as we begin what should be a great night of fights. Josh, they're battling early, buddy.
Yeah, they're getting down to it right away, and that's what I like to see in these prelim style fights. There's no reason to hold back. Let it all go.
Hips back, hips back, hips back, hips back. Hips back, Albert, keep that underhook, hips back, hips back.
Nicely done.
Underhook, look at the underhook, Josh. That's going to get him good position. Now he's got his back.
Head fight, head fight, head fight.
Hand fights start stepping up. Keep your chin tucked as you start stepping up. 1 leg at a time, but he's got to clear 1 hook first.
Could also use that cage. Now he can't. Could have used the cage as a balance point. Not now.
What I like that he's doing, see how he took the arm to the other side. That makes sure that you can't get choked anymore.
Gemma has spent a lot of time training with Ray Longo, Chris Weidman at Law MMA. He opened his own gym in Greenwich, spent most of his training camp there due to the restrictions of travel. But he looks good so far.
He's doing outstanding so far, Mike. He's had some tough fights here in Bellator, but he's always been a guy that comes to fight.
I mean, he came last time, John, with a fractured wrist, thumb, and a torn abductor. I mean, that's a guy who's ready to fight.
1 hook's out, 2 hooks out. Good job on getting back up.
A lot of pressure, Josh.
Here we go. Cross.
Ooh, a little bit of a twist of the ankle there by Gemma.
A little bad
Did
step.
it
You
twice.
can see it exactly.
Get your hips back. Roll.
Hook that leg, nice.
Right into full mount.
We know he wants to bounce.
Gemma's a guy that started out, he was a complete just striker, and his ground game has really come about. He's able to get the takedown, now getting position. We'll see what he can do with this.
Control, an arm.
All 3 of his wins have been by knockout. He has yet to finish an opponent by submission. Heavy ground and pound here, and he's got the back.
Head control. Get a wrist.
I've never been a big fan of this position, John, because you're allowing them to attack both sides if they choose to choke on the right side or armbar on the right side or the left side. They have options from this position. Pick a side you want to defend on and stand up with it.
Push away.
Oh, nice right hand.
Gemma needs to just slow himself down.
Oh, that uppercut landed.
Take your time. Go to that body.
You know, we saw Big Albert Gonzalez in his only fight in Bellator broke his leg
Get that
on a
wrist.
kick, nasty break.
Anderson Silva-like.
Get the wrist. Hand
Exactly.
control. Get the wrist. Hand control. Hand control.
Which, of course, happened against Chris Weidman, who Gemma has trained with.
Hold it. Wrist. Hand control.
Gemma has just dominated position throughout this fight.
Push away.
Gonzalez has been working himself out of bad position after bad position. Now he's taking big strikes again.
The issue that I'm seeing right now, John, though, is Gemma, or not Gemma, but Gonzalez is defending the takedown so much and so long that he's giving himself an opportunity to be mounted from as soon as he gets taken down.
That was a heavy elbow that was just landed.
As I always tell you, Mike, elbows from the mount. Yes. They are devastating. They will make the referee go, okay, you can't take any more.
And oftentimes you end up getting your opponent's back because of those.
Gemma keeps on getting very high. That's why he gets taken out of the position. He's got to calm himself down, catch that breath. Nice left hand again.
Doubled up on it as well.
But I'll tell you what, Albert Gonzalez, he got some whiskers on that chin, man.
Must be an old saying, because I've never really heard it.
That's because you don't have any whiskers.
Now we're looking at the possibility of things turning around, but not yet. Oh, nicely done.
He's hurt. That was a big left hand straight down the pipe.
Gemma wants a first round finish.
Well, he's done everything he can to get it right now.
Here's the problem, though. After the time when the break hits,
I was going to ask you.
we're going to see who has the best conditioning coming in the second round. Gemma's wasting a lot of energy trying to put him away, and Gonzalez is still there.
But Gonzalez has taken a lot of damage, and he has been hit with big shots, and you know that does take your cardio and starts to throw it out the window.
Very true. That tasted like vinegar coming out of my mouth. And John was right.
And my question was going to be to you guys, can he keep up this pace? We will find out as we approach the end of round number 1.
Here's some of the action coming off. Look at the strike. Big right hand landing right across the jawline of Albert Gonzalez. He weathers it well, but multiple times. Look at this uppercut. Boom. You see the hydrostatic shock of Gonzalez getting hit by that shot. Gemma again, that left hand straight down the pipe, puts him on his can. A big, big round by Castriot Gemma.
Bellator fans, gear up in the same apparel the fighters wear at BellatorShop.com. Purchase now and get 10% off with promo code CHAMPION. And our main event is for the championship later tonight on CBS Sports Network.
Josh, we talk all the time about finding a place in the fight to catch some air. And you saw that Gemma, actually, in those last 30 seconds, he was catching air. So instead of having just a 1-minute break, he had a little bit longer. We'll see if that really helps him.
And the pandemic definitely has affected Castriot Gemma over the past many months. So he's excited to be back
Put your corner right there, Paulie,
and
please.
putting on a great pace in the first 5
Put your corner.
minutes.
Right there. Doc.
Yeah, we're going to let it go.
Okay. Shortly. Shortly's got it.
John, I'm going to guess that cut came from an elbow.
I would tell you that came from one of a multitude of blows that were landed on the face of Albert Gonzalez.
Round 2. Gonzalez in the red gloves looking for his first Bellator victory. Gemma the southpaw in the blue gloves. Again, looking for the finish here.
But you can tell just by being off balance and what happened there, Gemma is still tired, Josh.
No, that was a little bit of a shot, though, too, that he hit him with a little short left hook on it. The concern that I'm having right now with Gonzalez is that he keeps just walking in. He's not using his length and his range at all. He's putting himself in that range where Gemma's having success.
Big Al's got a big family, 2 daughters, 3 sons.
Big Al needs to come up. He's settled for a position that he should have fought his way through. He could have had the back. He gave that up. That right there is just showing why at this time he's only got 3 fights. That's not good fight IQ.
No, I think a little bit of that fatigue is setting in that you were talking about. The big shots in the first round. He's showing his heart. Oh, I'm sorry, John. This kid's got a lot of heart.
He's got a ton of heart. Just missed with that knee.
Well, his quote was, "Mental warfare is my greatest strength. I won't quit unless I'm unconscious." He's going to try to do that to his opponent.
He was in a position to get that choke, but Gemma did a nice job of turning it over.
John, you gotta know when to abandon the submission, though, and make sure you stay on the top position. And Gonzalez didn't know when to do that. He ended up getting swept from that guillotine position.
I agree completely. And again, in this position, he's putting his arms in a place. You can get yourself out of this position. Don't just sit there and allow him to take your back. Gemma wants to square those hips up. That's where his hips are now. That'll
Can he
keep him
get
in
it?
place.
Not yet.
He's got the one arm in place. He just needs to find that locking. He keeps on putting it towards the top of the head. He needs to slide it in between his chin and the back of Gonzalez's head. Palm to palm.
Looking for that first submission of his career. Good defense by Big Al, Albert Gonzalez.
That was tight, John.
That was tight for a second. It was. He had it when he went palm to palm. There was a good possibility of it working. Gonzalez fights.
But you also know when you go palm to palm, right? Your forearms start to blow up, and then it's a lot harder to finish.
He did say he's got to be choked out cold, Josh. So far, true to his word.
He wasn't lying.
He was not.
He hasn't shown me anything in this fight that he's gonna tap.
Truth.
Oh, he's got a good. Had a possibility right there. Gets him out. I thought he was going to go for the arm triangle.
Postured up, big ground and pound. Just past the midway point of this 3-round fight.
That arm sticking straight up. Gemma can go for an arm lock. There's all kinds of things he can do from this position. He's got a ton of submissions available to him. I don't think he's thinking about any of them, Josh.
It's smart not to. I mean, Big Al's already shown that he's able to escape a lot of these positions, so why take a chance? Stay on top, keep doing your work, make your opponent carry your weight. We saw again right there, he's able to reverse, get to the top position. Now he just needs to take his breath. Take some time, get your breath, and do some work. You got 1 minute and 30 left. A lot can happen in 1 minute and 30 when both guys are extremely tired.
Which is a perfect time for me to ask both you guys, did Gemma do enough, John and Josh, for a 10-8 in round 1?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Josh.
I hate to agree with you.
Let's just be nice. We haven't seen each other in a couple weeks. No? 10-8. All right, both you guys.
10-8, yes, tied. I'm glad I thought of that.
Thank you. I'll go to you first next time, Josh.
But John, this round's a lot closer, but you still have Gemma winning this round.
Right now, Gemma's winning the round. Because look at where you have Gonzalez, and he's unable to establish any type of offense at all. There's been no strikes. He's in a position on top of him. This is a neutral position, basically.
Gemma's doing a great job of controlling the posture. Can he get the arm lock?
Needs to extend with his legs, pinch his knees either together. He's got his feet crossed. Now he can actually flare his knees. Take that arm. He should take the arm and stick it behind his arm, Josh.
Wow, Gonzalez is tough, man.
That's tight.
That is hyperextending the elbow. It's bad.
That's dislocated.
It is dislocated. That arm popped.
Yep, we saw it.
Bring it over your right hip. Bring it over your right hip.
He will not tap. Wow. Nasty.
You know, John, that's broken.
That arm has been popped. The capsule's been popped in it. It's been what we call dislocated. It might pop back, but this fight is going to end up being over. You watch, Mike.
You could see it.
Yep.
I saw it dislocate the first time.
You can watch this point when his body flips over. Right there, you can see, take a look at the angle of his arm. Look at the pop. You see that little knob sticking out?
And it happens again here shortly. There's a little bit of a pop on that second term right here at the very end.
There it is right there. You see
There.
that? That elbow has been dislocated. This fight, I don't believe that the doctors are going to allow. They're going to look at it. They're going to say you're not allowed to go on.
I keep having Tim Sylvia flashbacks right now.
Completely different. You know, you're looking at Tim Sylvia's arm
broke,
broken.
but you know what I mean.
This is exactly, you go back to Ronda Rousey against Miesha Tate in Strikeforce, and Miesha Tate allowed her arm to be completely dislocated, never tapped. Just like I said, I thought the fight would be over. That arm is wrecked.
Yep. Just nasty, and a win for Castriot Gemma. Gonzalez unable to continue, but I'll tell you what, he would not tap. That is one tough fighter. Cool. All right, maybe it reminded me of Dan Hardy and GSP, that he wouldn't tap.
Exactly the time.
Yeah, RT. We got another guy in the other corner.
Here's a replay. You see Gemma, he extends the hips. Gonzalez ends up going over. He's got his feet crossed, so a lot of times people think you're going to have to pinch your knees. When your feet are crossed this position, actually sometimes it's better to flare your knees, Josh. But when he takes that arm, he starts to put the arm, because you can see the elbow is still in the hip region. When he puts it behind, that's extra leverage as he extends his hips. When those hips come up, just like you saw the pop, that elbow only can take so much pressure. That was a nasty armbar, nasty injury. Albert Gonzalez is tough, but there comes a point, it's better to tap than let it snap.
So hold up a second as we get some official word. After 2 rounds, it may be that Castriot Gemma, John, did not want to continue, and Albert Gonzalez may have earned himself a victory. Let's wait and get the official decision. Wow.
We just got we're sitting here looking at the refs, and the doctors are in both sides, but people are talking right now that Gemma's the one that said he couldn't continue.
Ryan Miner is the referee of the fight, and he said that at the end of this round, Castriot Gemma said, I'm done. I can't go back out. I'm exhausted.
Which answers the question that you posed early, Josh, starting at the pace in which he did. Was that too fast? And I suppose the answer now is yes.
Well, so what happens is this, and I've trained for years with Frank Shamrock, and he used to tell us, you won't realize you're tired until you stop. When you stop moving is when you realize that you're exhausted. And when that 1 minute break in between round 1 and 2, that's the problem.
All right, let's get the official decision, a surprising one from Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the blue corner retires after the completion of round number 2. Therefore, the official time, 5 minutes, round number 2. The winner by TKO, Albert Big Al Gonzalez.
So let me go back to this. Mental warfare is my greatest strength. I won't quit unless I'm unconscious. You can pop my elbow. It doesn't matter. You can take my bad arm and raise it. I just got my first Bellator win. Wow.
I'll tell you, it's crazy. This reminds me, if you go back to history in 1975, you had Ali versus Frazier, Thriller in Manila. Now that went a lot longer, but Frazier's corner going into the 15th round stopped that fight based upon him not being able to see, even though he wanted to go, just like Gonzalez wants to go. And Ali said, it was the closest thing I've ever felt to dying. I was going to quit. And then Frazier's corner threw in the towel. That was close to what we had right there.
All right, Jen Brown, JLP son, and Jen, I think this sets it up perfectly for you. Chael, have you seen this before?
I mean, this is crazy. I'm shocked right now. I think anybody in that situation doesn't think they're going to walk away winning the fight, choosing not to tap and having your arm dislocated. And then you're the winner.
First off, Albert, you are one tough guy. Secondly, Jen, this is a very interesting one. I love the story that John just gave. I remember the thrill in Manila, but I must tell you, if a fight was going to be stopped because of submission, but the commission had not yet made that decision, and the other guy throws in the white towel, I guess it's whoever gets there first.
Well, he made the decision not to tap, usually ill-advised in that situation,
was already done.
And it worked. It's insane. All right, that's a great way to start off the night, a bizarre way, actually, a little bit. But we've got some great fights coming up. I want to remind everybody that we're going to be live on CBS Sports Network, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, and that's what we've got coming up, right? We've got Chris Cyborg defending her Bellator belt for the first time, taking on Arlene Blencowe. Now, Chael, Blencowe told us earlier this week that she has had her eye on Chris Cyborg since she got into the sport of MMA. She knew that she was going to fight her. She wanted to fight the best, and she said she's ready for that test tonight.
And Jen, I got to tell you, most of the greats don't stay on top as long as Chris Cyborg. The reason is because all of the contenders go to bed every night thinking about that one person. Cyborg doesn't know who to go to bed thinking about. She's just got to fight the #1 contender. I only offer that for you because it is a remarkable amount of time that Cyborg has gone being a champion, being a main event, being a marquee name. Is this the night? Blencowe is staring at her, has been staring at her. I take her at her word, and I also take it that that's going to be helpful.
Well, I think it will be helpful that she's had her sights on her, and Cyborg talked to her with us about how she always has that target on her back. She relishes that position. It is her 15th world title fight. There's some experience there. Blencowe, obviously a 2-time former champ in boxing. Has something really interesting to point out here tonight. A little first, or a new first for Cyborg. She's going to have a coach in her corner that she hasn't had in a very long time. Because of COVID, Cyborg, who normally goes to South Africa to train, she had to go and find someone in her hometown, Huntington Beach. Just so happens, Javier Cordero, the professor, her old coach, the guy who taught her how to throw her first kick, her first punch, pretty special, and she's excited to have him in her corner tonight.
I think it's wonderful. I never know why she left him in the first place. I mean, this is one of the most decorated and honorable coaches. This is the same man that trained Shogun, the same man that is currently training Mike Tyson.
Right, he is training, yeah.
I don't know why she ever left. I never got the South Africa connection for Cyborg. She went as the world champion into a country that barely does the sport. I'm glad she's back home, and I think Coach Cordero is going to have a positive impact.
Well, he's going to enjoy watching her compete tonight, no doubt. All right, that is our main event coming up later on tonight. Let's get back to the fight action. Goldie?
JLP, I agree 100%. The professor, Javier Cordero, a very special trainer, a very special man. All right, our tail of the tape for our next matchup. This also in the welterweight division. 4-0, 19-year-old Abib Ghazali set to battle Logan Neal. Look at that tail of the tape. Other than the age, John, a couple wins, everything else is virtually identical. All right, little stretch. Michael C. Williams.
For those joining us live on Bellator MMA's YouTube channel, we welcome you as the Bellator 249 prelims roll on now with 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 5'10", weighing in 169.3 pounds. His professional record 1-0, fighting out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, Logan, the real deal, Neal. And across the cage is adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'10", weighing in 168.8 pounds. As a professional, he's undefeated, 4 victories, no losses, fighting out of Bat-Yam, Israel. Introducing Abib, the King Gonzalez. In charge, your referee, Brian Miner.
Brian Miner, our referee. Don't blink, because this is how quick Gonzalez can finish a fight.
This is against Edward Mervatsky. This was an 11-second heel hook submission. Look at him take that leg, goes in with what we call an Imanari roll to get the fight to the ground. And his submission game is diverse, Mike. Anaconda chokes, heel hooks, rear naked chokes, arm bars. The kid's got it all.
Come on, fight. Here we go. Gonzalez in the red. Logan Neal taking this fight on 8 days' notice comes flying into this fight. And tonight's fight clock is presented by Geico.
John, what you find is that people that usually take fight on short notice, this is how they start the fight. They come out fast, they come out hard, knowing that their conditioning may not get them through the full 3 rounds, and this is exactly what we're seeing right now by Neil.
No doubt about it, you're exactly right, but that's something you can look at if you're going to be that young fighter, and Neil is. He's 1-0 in his career, but you have got to be in shape at all times. You have got to be ready to go. And he took the fight, so let's see what he can do. He's going against a guy we know has got a great submission game, but doesn't look like he's giving any respect to him.
Well, Nino Schoenberg used to do this all the time because he was so good on the ground. What he would do is he would throw a lot of head kicks because he knew if he hit the ground, you weren't going to jump on top of him, and that's what we've been seeing so far by Gonzalez.
This is now where the problem starts for him. If you're looking at Logan Neal, there he gets rides him out. There's just different levels when you're talking about the ground game, and even though Aviv Gonzalez is very young, he has been rolling for his entire life. His dad's been a black belt for a long time. He's been with Renzo Gracie forever, and his ground game is exceptional.
His father, Haim, calls him a jiu-jitsu prodigy. Can he get another submission here?
Well, he's got that leg right now. There's the possibility he's trying to lock it up. Let go of it. Great position. Great. That's, you look at that, that's smart fighting, Josh. You know that you don't have the submission. Don't try to hold on to something you don't have. Get yourself to a better position.
We just saw in the last fight with Gonzalez, not that.
It's the exact opposite.
That was what the difference was, where he had position and he could have kept it, but he kept going for more stuff and slipped off and lost position several times. Same thing with Gemma in that position. Here with Gonzalez, what he's doing is that he is keeping and maintaining his top position so he can mount his attacks.
Aviv had to return to Israel for 6 months.
Looking for
with the pandemic,
beautiful
and
job.
Stayed in New York City more recently, John, training with Renzo Gracie.
Gonna double this up with a Kimura grip, Josh.
Inverted triangle, but he's got that Kimura grip, so if he can go ahead and pull that arm right out, he can start to go ahead and also sweep him to get to a crucifix position also, if he can, if he wants to roll him through.
Spent some time working his striking with Ray Longo at Law MMA.
Keep taking.
Good shots to the body. First fight at 170 for Gonzalez. He said, I'll be back at 155.
See, this is where you have someone that's so good on the ground, and they just keep going after one submission from one to the next, and they give you no room to breathe, and you just feel like all you're doing is defending.
He's going to roll him through right now and start trying to attack that armbar position. He'll go armbar triangle position all night. If he rolls him through here, very nicely done. He may try to continue that same roll through again if he can. He's just trying to get that Kimura out. If he can get that Kimura out and finish from there, or he can go straight armbar as well.
He gets the Kimura. If he gets this arm unlocked, he's got that Kimura. Now it's a matter of he's got the position, but he doesn't have the arm in the right place. That's why this triangle position is not putting Neal in a place where he can be choked unconscious. There's that Kimura.
It is all over, just like that. Another submission victory in round number 1 for Aviv Gonzalez.
Time. 3, 2, 2, round 1.
Yeah, Aviv Gonzalez, we're going to walk you through some of the replays here. Did a great job. So you have the inverted triangle here, but what is he doing? He's attacking that Kimura position. As soon as Neal popped his head out, that freed up the arm for the Kimura, and he was able to go ahead and turn it back the other way on the nice transition to the Kimura. Beautiful job by Aviv Gonzalez.
That's what makes you dangerous, is when you can transition from one submission to another. You get your opponent where they're a step behind, and when you're a step behind, it only takes one little mistake. Submission put on, beautiful finish.
But what the difference was, John, is as soon as Neal pulled his head out, he thought he was free. In reality, he wasn't free because Gonzalez still had the wrist control and the Kimura and was able to take him back the other way. Nice transition.
Aviv Gonzalez, just 19 years old. There's Ray Longo, one of the best in the business. Gonzalez, 5-0, all those wins in Bellator. Every win by submission, every victory coming in the very first round. Another great job done by Bat-Yam Israel's Aviv the King Gonzalez. And I know proud father Haim Gonzalez is watching, and he's got a big smile on his face right now. To make it official, here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end tap by way of a Kimura. Officially, 322. Round number 1 by submission, still undefeated, Aviv, the King Gonzalez.
Brown belt under Renzo Gracie, now training with Ray Longo and set to visit with Big John McCarthy.
Aviv, that was just a beautiful display of what a great ground game will do for you. Your transitions from one submission attempt to the next. Talk me through exactly what you were thinking as you're going on in this cage.
I'm the best grappler in Bellator, so this was my game plan, to stay a little bit on the feet, to timing the takedown. I did it, got a submission. I want to say thanks to Ray Longo, to Steve Lee, to my father, Chaim Gonzalez. It's my first fight ever that is not with me, so it was kind of hard, but I love you, Pops. To my strength and condition in Israel coach, Nati Avidan. To my cousin that was with me all the 3 months in New York, Maor. Thanks, everybody. Israel, I love you.
Real quick question. You just switched over to Ray Longo and Law MMA. Tell me what difference that has made in you as a fighter.
It's different than Body Shop, the old system. But I moved to New York because in LA I was alone and I was 18 years old and I was by myself. It was hard. And in New York I have a lot of friends, family. So that's what I moved. And Ray Longo is the best.
You're right. I think you're right. He is one of the best. Congratulations on a beautiful performance. Back to you, Goldie.
Thank you very much, Big John. And yeah, Aviv has spent a lot of time in New York City with the relationship between Renzo and his dad, Chaim, lasting well over 2 decades. 5-0 at 19 years old with 5 wins, all in the first round by submission. I guess to say he's the best grappler, best submission specialist in Bellator may not be that wild of a statement. Time will tell as we continue. Back to Jen and Chael.
Well, thanks, Goldie. Some great matchups so far. We've got 4 incredible fights coming your way on CBS Sport Network. We got a world title fight, Chris Cyborg, Arlene Blencowe. Plus our co-main event, it's a lightweight feature bout, Chael. We've got Patricki, Pitbull taking on Jaleel Willis. Now, Willis, he's a former LFA welterweight champ. He just won that title back in August. Then he signs a multi-fight deal with us just a few weeks ago. And then they hand him Patricki, Pitbull. That's a tough test out of the gate to return back to Bellator.
Jen, may I tell you, I am not ready to predict an upset for you. I will just tell you, this fight has all the makings of an upset. There is not one thing on paper that favors Pitbull. He's older to start with. He weighs less to start with. Now, that's between Willis and the commission. He missed weight. I'm just sharing for you. Every advantage on paper goes to Willis. Now, I understand the better fighter is Pitbull, but you must also concede back to me. It is not the better fighter that we keep seeing win. It is whoever fights better on that night. Willis has a very good opportunity tonight.
Well, that is well said and gets me even more excited for that matchup. Now, last time we saw Patricki in the Bellator cage, it was a while. He had spent some time in Ryzen. He said, look, I want to come back to the cage. I want to be dominant. It's my first time on CBS Sports. I want to bring over some new fans. He's looking to score the knockout, but Willis, to your point, he's fast. He's going to do that in and out. Patricki needs to be careful that he doesn't get frustrated and go looking for that knockout rather than letting it happen.
And see, I fully agree with what you just said there, okay? Pitbull likes to finish fights. He likes to finish them early, and he throws everything but the kitchen sink, and he does it the first couple of minutes. Look, I think if Willis can be very strategic, use some of those kicks, keep some of that distance, get your hands on him, push and pull a little bit, get that heart rate going, I think that his chances improve. And I want to be on record of some level telling you something special has the potential to happen tonight.
I like that. I'm going to make sure the guys make sure they heard that too. But if you look at Patricki's resume, I mean, it's right out of the history books basically here. He's got 22 fight, his 22nd fight here. It's going to tie for second in all of Bellator. He's tied for the 4th most wins. He's tied for the 1st with most knockouts. If he can get that knockout tonight, he would stand alone for the most knockouts inside the Bellator cage. Of course, that fight, it's going to be coming up later on tonight on CBS Sports Network, and I love it. Chael, guys, is calling for an upset. What do you think about that, Goldie?
Well, he said it has all the makings of an upset, but if the upset happens, I know JLP will go, oh yeah, I called for the upset a couple hours earlier. That's just how the game's doing.
Sounds like Big John.
Yeah. All right, you guys have your battle. We'll get to the next fight. Contracted at 140 pounds, the Diamond, Damon Blackshear, set to make his Bellator debut against Mike the Savage Kimball. Our tale of the tape for this 140-pound fight. 23-year-old Kimball against 26-year-old Blackshear. Kimball, Big John, will have a slight reach advantage.
Slight, just slight, but he is an incredible athlete, very fast, very athletic. This should be a fantastic matchup.
And very good at fighting long and extending that 73.5-inch reach. All right, with the official introductions, once again, the voice, Michael C. Willis.
For those that may have just joined us here at Bellator 249, we welcome you as the prelims continue from Mohegan Sun Arena with 3 5-minute rounds at 140 pounds. First, introducing the blue corner. At 5'10", weighing in 140 pounds even, his professional record, 7 wins, 3 losses, fighting out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, Damon the Diamond Blackshear. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 5'9", weighing in 139.2 pounds, his professional record 3-2, fighting out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He hails from Waterbury, Connecticut, Mike the Savage Kimball. And referee in charge, once again, Brian Miner.
Brian Miner, our referee for Mike Kimball. All 5 professional fights have come inside the Bellator cage. His first 2 professional wins by knockout in a total time of 1 minute and 9 seconds.
All right.
The interesting thing about Kimball is that this is now Josh's 3rd fight with a full training camp at Sanford MMA with Henry Hoof, Greg Jones, and that great group down south.
Yeah, the one thing they need to work with him on, though, is just maintaining his composure throughout the first round. That's been his 2 losses, his biggest mistake. He lets it all out, gasses himself out, and makes some mistakes, leaves himself out of position. The talent's there. It's just a matter of fact of whether he can continue to excel in what he's doing.
He's a very emotional fighter.
Yes.
That emotion is good and bad.
Have emotion, but don't fight emotionally.
You ready?
That's the key.
You ready? Come on, fight.
Here we go. Fight clock tonight presented by Geico. Kimball in the red gloves, Blackshear in the blue gloves. Both men working out of the orthodox stance. Kimball tied the record for the fastest knockout in Bellator history back in October of 2018. His 6-second knockout of Alex Potts. Nice jab by Blackshear. Mike Kimball just 23 years old. But Josh, you can see the muscle and the good lean muscle, the physique of Kimball continuing to mature.
Yeah, he's actually, you can tell he's maturing as a young man, becoming a man. I was trying to figure out how to work that respectfully. He's maturing as a young man, and he's starting to fill into his body. His legs have gotten bigger, shoulders have gotten broader, and I've already seen what I like, what we were talking about earlier. I want to see him stay composed, and this is the most composed I've seen him in all of his fights.
Yeah, when you're talking about Mike Kimball and you're saying that he is maturing physically, you've seen in just this first minute and 15 seconds, he's maturing mentally as a fighter. He's got hit, didn't bother him, he's landed shots, he's taken shots, but he's just trying to feel the range, feel out what his opponent's doing, not try to be that guy that is trying to end fights in 10 seconds.
He spent a month overseas training with the London Shoot Fighters in with the man he calls his big brother, MVP, Michael Venom Page. And Josh, they pushed him to some crazy limits. He said they put him through heck, is what they said.
I'm sure that's what it is.
Well, I'm just being proper.
But here's the thing, when you train with guys that are at the top echelon of the sport, right? Like Michael Venom Page, you realize that no matter how hard you hit them, they're gonna still be there, especially in training when you're wearing 16-ounce gloves, shin guards, knee pads, everything's geared up. They're not going anywhere. So you can already tell. He had landed a clean shot earlier, didn't get overactive with it and try and finish him and get him out of there. He realized it was not a shot to finish the fight, so he just kind of go back to what he was doing. He's sticking and moving, and he's fighting a great fight right now.
And for the Diamond, Damon Blackshear, he has spent time training at Jackson Wink in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was at home in North Carolina for this camp. Very experienced. This is his 11th professional fight. Never been stopped, and has earned 4 wins by submission, 1 by knockout.
Well, we've always talked about what just phenomenal athlete Mike Kimball is, but Damon Blackshear matches up very well in the athleticism phase of this. He's very fast, he's strong, he's got a good ground game, and if this fight goes to the ground, he might be the guy with the advantage.
Saturday, starting at 1:30 Eastern, it's a college football doubleheader. First, Army travels to the Alamo Dome to take on UTSA, followed by Marshall against Louisiana Tech. That's it. Daniel Cormier is going to yell at me. Louisiana Tech. Oh, right here on CBS Sports Network. Louisiana, John. Louisiana.
It is Louisiana.
Thank you. There's all the time in Italy and France. I forgot our 50 states. Josh, that's called butchering the promo.
I had that same effect yesterday at an interview. All right, fair enough. John, Kimball looks brilliant right now. He's got to move his head a little bit more offline, as we just saw right there with Blackshear landing some nice combinations. But the two of them are exchanging leg kicks. They're gonna have, both of them are gonna have to start checking here real short.
Both of them are gonna have to do something different in the defensive phase of the kicking game, or things are gonna go bad for one of them, maybe both.
Don't be afraid to use it. 40 seconds. 45 seconds.
You see Kimball's leg, though, is taking the, it's like the more damage in this fight, though, so far on the leg.
He's worked his way into the southpaw stance.
Don't let him get away with that.
You know, sometimes, Josh, you know, you'll take a leg kick, it's like, you'll hear it, it's no big deal. But it's eventually, that leg, you start to feel it in your movement, you feel it as far as it gets heavy. You can't put your weight on it the same way. It just affects your way of fighting.
Now he's getting desperate.
All of them hurt, John, but the thud is much more damaging than the slap. Final seconds of round 1. Blackshear, born in Texas, fighting out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, by way of Fayetteville. Once again, we would like to thank our dedicated professionals and our partners at Hartford Healthcare, who handle all of our COVID-19 testing and screening. For more information, go to hartfordhealthcare.org. Mike Goldberg, Josh Thompson, Big John McCarthy, having some fun. Little Bellator Hawaii fans around. Good first round between Mike Kimball and Damon Blackshear.
I want you to getting that jab. You see
Man,
that
we've
jab?
had some great fights just so far.
That jab lever change. Down.
First fight with Gemma against Gonzalez, the way that ended, craziness, and then a beautiful performance by Gonzalez. And now this fight, these guys are going after it.
Okay, the time to take it down for the shot, right?
This is what you want to see.
Jab. Put your hands on. Calling that shit. Put your hands on. Yes.
The most difficult part of round 1 was me trying to say Louisiana.
It's one of those states.
We're gonna need a translator for you later.
Bring DC in. He can talk about it.
Oh, if there's one thing we know, he can talk.
Yes, he can. All right, set for round 2. Kimball and Blackshear. Kimball in the red gloves. Blackshear in the blue gloves. Back and forth. First 5 minutes, Josh. What would you score?
You know, I would give it to Blackshear, to be honest. He landed the better leg kicks. He landed the better combinations on the feet as well. It was very close, so it could have went either way, but I would have given it to Blackshear. John?
Could be that Blackshear did get it. It is, he had the better leg kicks by far when you're looking at how many he landed, the volume. But if you think back, Kimble did land a couple of big, heavy shots, and that always influences the judge's opinion. But I think that Blackshear got that.
See, he didn't have this like difficulty agreeing with you, Josh. You see how?
No, what he did is he went all the way around the question, and at the very end, he brought it up that he agreed with me.
I go around the globe there.
Yeah.
Like what Bellator cages does.
What I want to see from Kimble, though, is get inside the boxing range. I feel like he's got the better boxing. He's having better success with the speed in the hands in the boxing area.
Nice body shot.
Especially with all that time he has spent with what he calls his big brother, Michael Venom Page, and the talented fighters in London, England. Blackshear has the leg.
That was a nice little snatch single. He just wasn't able to finish it.
I thought he was going to be able to finish that off.
Go, out there.
Amateur and professional fights combined, Damon Blackshear is 14-4. So he is accustomed to getting his arm raised. Fifth Bellator fight, or sixth, pardon me, for Kimble. All 5 of his professional fights have been in Bellator. Bellator debut for the Diamond, Damon Blackshear.
I love when Blackshear throws his hands and then hides that kick on the last exit, hits that kick. Beautiful job of hiding his kicks behind his hands.
When we get to our main card on CBS Sports Network, that's something Syed Awad talked about with Mandel Nallo, his opponent, how he does a nice job of hiding his kicks behind his hands. Round 2.
When he comes in, we make him pay. When he comes in, we make him pay. Down. Don't let him get away with it.
Starting to see one thing out of Kimble, though, Josh, is now when you see Blackshear coming in with his attack, Kimble is more backing out, not thinking about the counter so much. He needs to think about taking that angle and counter.
What I like, though, is when he is backing up, he's actually backing up and circling out. He's not letting his back get to the fence. So there's a lot of improvement since his last fight. Let's be honest. I mean, he looks phenomenal. This is somebody now that I feel like, hey, look, he's matured as an athlete, maybe even as a person. Because right now, he looks phenomenal. I mean, he's probably, I feel like he's losing this round. I feel like he lost the first round. But he's 1 or 2 shots away from winning the round. He just needs to land something good and clean.
Beautiful.
Touch him downstairs.
Born and raised in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Exit the pole.
Tick-tock, skip.
Been in South Florida for his last 3 training camps.
Make him pay.
Right up the middle with the kick.
Again, the ball.
90 seconds on the clock here in round number 2.
1 minute 30.
That's a beautiful job by Blackshear. Every time he does that, he is effective in this fight. The judges are seeing that, and it's going to take its toll on that thigh.
That's what I said earlier in this round, though, is that Kimble needs to get in that boxing range, take away those leg kicks, and he's got the faster hands. Nice job of entering on that single leg.
That was good, but it was a good job of Kimble getting his hips back. It's just the fence is there.
Nice transition to the back.
Can he get it right here, right now?
This is where I saw a big difference in Blackshear's ground game here.
That's it tight, John. That's it tight.
He's done.
And it's all over! Damon Blackshear with the win in his Bellator debut.
Wow.
Just like that.
That's what I was talking about when I was watching tape on Damon Blackshear. There was a significant difference in the ground game, and if he got this fight to the ground, he had a distinct advantage, and he just proved it.
He didn't even really get it to the ground. He didn't even really get it to the ground. As soon as Kimble went to get up, you see here, he lifts and elevates. And Kimble actually grabs the fence on the way down. As soon as he got him down, he jumped right to the back as Kimble was making his way up. Made the transition. What Blackshear did there was beautifully roll him to the side where he could choke him on, went palm to palm first, and then shoved the hand behind the head. Nice job by Blackshear. That was so quick, John. That was smooth.
Yeah, you can see high crotch right here, picks him up, elevates him, You see the hand go to the ground. That's why Kimball jumps right back up. But when he jumps back up, he's got to think about his positioning. Blackshear does a beautiful job transitioning right to the back. He gets the hooks in. And when he gets that second hook, look at those hands. Goes around the neck. Here he is. Slides that lock in. It's all over.
When he left his feet and jumped back, that's when what happens there is he elevates his chin. People don't understand that. That opens up the neck. That was a nice job by Blackshear. Great job.
Many years ago, he earned the nickname the Diamond because he was a diamond in the rough. I would say he's shining very brightly right now with his first Bellator win. Michael C. Williams to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tap comes by way of a rear naked choke. Official time, 4 minutes, 14 seconds. Round number 2. The winner by submission, Damon the Diamond Blackshear.
5th career win by submission, 3rd by rear naked choke. His first win comes inside the Bellator cage in his Bellator debut. Congratulations, Damon Blackshear.
It's a dream matchup between two of the sport's best. Fighting for the vacant middleweight world title, welterweight champion Douglas Lima steps up to 185 to battle 5-time world champ Gegard Mousasi. Live and free, October 29th on CBS Sports Network.
Hey, Bellator Nation, follow us across a large array of digital platforms and stay up to date on everything you need to know. Like us on the Bellator Facebook page and see exclusive videos. Follow us and get instant updates on Twitter at Bellator MMA and get a chance to have your tweet live on the broadcast. See amazing pictures on Instagram at Bellator MMA. Join Bellator Nation today.
The belt is on the line when featherweight world champion Cyborg makes her first title defense against Australia's Arlene Angerfist Blencowe. Live and free, Bellator MMA, tonight on CBS Sports Network.
You are watching Bellator MMA live from our stateside residence, and thanks to our partners there at the Mohegan Sun Arena. We love our home here. Jen Brown here alongside Chael Sonnen at the fight desk in the fight sphere. We like it here. It's been a good time in Connecticut. Enjoying my time here with you. We've got 4 great fights coming up, Chael. Moving over to CBS Sports Network. I want to talk about our bantamweight title. We got Ricky Bandejas, Leandro Higo. You know, Higo is a pressure fighter. He's going to be coming forward. Bandejas, usually a good counter striker. We saw that initially at the beginning of his career. Hasn't been doing well with that as of late. How does he handle the pressure of Higo tonight?
Okay, Bandejas is a cage fighter. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it means he's aggressive. It means he's going out there, he's looking for the kill. He's taking on a martial artist. What does that mean? Well, martial artists is a little bit more about strategy. They're a little bit more about technique. They're out there playing chess instead of checkers. They're trying to set you up. Look, I've got to tell you, Higo has a lot of pressure on him. He missed weight for this fight. That's a big question. Why? Were you not training hard enough? Were you not eating properly? Why and how did you miss weight? Look, you are never done with this sport, Jen, but one day you wake up and find out it is done with you. And I do believe that a former championship fighter in Higo has a lot of pressure on him tonight.
A lot of pressure to perform, certainly. Now, he also talked about wanting to debut a new alter ego, if you will. He's changed his nickname to Leandro Ego. But let me talk to you about that, because the ego is what's gotten him in trouble in times, right? We saw what happened in the Pico fight where he kind of bit down on his mouthpiece, just started swinging. The question is, how does he handle himself if he gets frustrated from Ricky Bandejas? That length, that speed, can he keep that ego in check tonight?
We have seen that. And another thing, if you follow Ego's career, usually the first round dictates the fight. If he's going to get frustrated, he starts to realize what side of the bread is buttered in the first round. And so things do fall apart. It's a bit of a snowball effect, the other side of the coin, Jen. If he can go out and start connecting with his opponent, keep distance, protect his chin a little bit, not take those shots, generally the snowball goes in his favor. But I'm comfortable in telling you within the first 5 minutes, we're going to know which Ego showed up tonight.
I love that. Well, that is one of our 4 fights coming up on CBS Sports Network. That is on 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Now our prelims roll on. Goldie, back down to you.
Jen, Chael, thank you very much. Chael knows Hamza Salim very well because he trains out of American Top Team Portland. His second entrance into the Bellator cage. His opponent, 21-year-old Christian Edwards, who is a perfect 3-0. Our tale of the tape for this light heavyweight fight. I would say, John, there's a slight difference in age and in height and in reach.
I think you're right.
I don't know if anything's virtually identical other than the weight. Here's Michael C.
And now inside the Bellator cage we go. 3 5-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Live from Mohegan Sun Arena, we introduce the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 204.2 pounds. His professional record, 5 wins, 3 losses. Fighting out of Portland, Oregon, Hamza, the Hamza Salim. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 6'5", weighing in 204.5 pounds. As a professional, he's undefeated. 3 victories, no losses. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Christian Payne Edwards. In charge, your referee, Brian Miner.
Brian Miner, once again, our referee. This fight at 205 pounds. 3-0 Christian Edwards has earned all 3 victories inside the Bellator cage. The first recipient of the Jackson Winklejohn Scholarship Award. Here we go. Tonight's fight clock is presented by Geico. Edwards in the red gloves, Salim in the blue gloves. Clinch work early.
Good head position, baby. Work those knees. Nice and perfect. All right, we're not going to hang out on the cage. We're working out that cage.
Those guys going real hard right now. A lot of action in there.
There you go.
A lot of dirty boxing inside.
Right for head position, please. Nice and squeeze.
Edwards looking to take this fight down.
Hamza Salim fought right here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena on 2 weeks' notice back in August. That was his Bellator debut. He's back looking for his first Bellator win.
Here we go, face the knee. Go off that cage.
Christian was looking to bring him backside on there, but his display of his legs was too much.
Fix that right hand now. Straight right hand.
The game has changed a little bit where what you need to do is pull fighters away from the fence because they used that wall. He was able to lean. Salim was able to lean against the fence, kind of use that to get back up to his feet.
Now, if you see anything from Edwards that looks anything like what you might have seen over the years from John Jones, it would be because Christian Edwards trains with Jones a lot at Jackson Wing.
Your feints, Hamza. Get those feints going. Straight right hand, baby. Hands up.
Mike Winklejohn, a great striking coach. He's been in this game a very long time. Will be in the corner of Arlene Blencowe later in our main event of the evening.
Stuff the head, stuff the head.
A little bit of a stumble on Edwards. He wasn't hurt, but he lost his balance there. Back up.
Take the left side underhook and circle off.
We saw in Salim's last fight, he fought Grant Neal, who is super strong and very athletic, and he was just there throughout the fight. Tough, durable, took big shots and kept coming back, so we know that he is a tough, gritty fighter.
2 weeks notice, John, and hadn't fought in a couple of years. Definitely showed he's got some heart.
He's showing his wrestling ability. He started off as a complete kickboxer, and his wrestling ability and his jiu-jitsu, you know, being with Portland's ATT American top team out there with Fabiano Scherner, he's really turned into a mixed martial artist.
Breathe in. Born in Kuwait and fighting out of Portland, connecting with the left hand.
Hamza, once you're off that cage, please. Let's circle him here. Here we go. Use your head position now. Head position, Hamza.
This is what I was talking about earlier. So Salim using the fence to kind of keep his balance. It's like a third leg. He's able to kind of keep that balance, like a little tripod position. So what Edwards needs to do is pull him away from the fence, maybe hook the leg, sit him to his butt, something along those lines. But getting it done against the fence, the game has changed, and it's so much harder now. Guys have learned how to stop that position.
He's got him down now. The question is he going to be able to keep him down? Salim posting up, getting himself at least back to that knee.
But Salim will use the fence now to scrape him off of his back as well.
Good, there, exactly what you're talking about. You saw Christian pulling him away, now he's got the back.
A lot of time to work.
Oh, that was a mistake right there.
Looking to finish it right here, right now.
He's got his chin tucked and the hands not behind the head as well. So what he's got to do is reach back and pull that hand down off the head.
Trying to earn his first career win by submission. Not yet.
That was never locked in place the way you want to have it. You see Chris trying to go back to a mount.
All the way out the back door, he's high. Keep coming out the back door, Hamza, he's high.
Hamza can come right out the back door. He starts to move himself up. It's going to make Christian Edwards. Now he's back to a position, gets those hips back. Christian Edwards in a position he was going to have to get the position up. If he started to come high, he's never able to do it.
What Salim needed to do there was like tripod up there, put his butt up in the air and start shaking him off a little bit. So he didn't have both hooks in. He only had one hook in. His other leg was over the head.
30 seconds on the clock here in the first round. Dominant position for Christian Edwards.
Control that wrist.
I think I'll continue to say this probably till the day I die. This is not a resting position. In that all-four position, you need to make sure that you don't stay there. You see Edwards right now kind of sinking that choke.
Can he get it before the end of the round?
Made a mistake with that locking arm, though. You've got to slide it behind the head, not on top.
Big first round for Christian Edwards. Tomorrow morning at 10 Eastern, dive into CBS Sports Network as some of the best swimmers in the world team up and hit the water in Budapest. It's the International Swimming League on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
Some of the elbows you see inside of the dirty boxing range. Beautiful left elbow by Christian Edwards. Kept on bringing his hands inside and across. Nice job. See, all this dirty boxing, it plays a part. Everyone thinks you got to punch. Those elbows, when you're in tight, they're deadly, Josh.
Fighting in a phone booth is very dangerous. If you're a master at it, you can do a lot of work here in the cage. A la Randy Couture. A la.
Superman used to come out of phone booth.
I don't even have an answer for that.
And he was from Louisiana.
Oh, man. Where did he come up?
I have no idea, to be quite honest with you. Round two. Edwards in the red gloves in the southpaw stance. Hamza Salim in the blue gloves. Salim has never been stopped in his professional career. This is professional fight number 9 and his second here in Bellator.
Off that cage, turn it! All right, let's work to get our back off the cage.
He was in some bad positions in that first round with Christian Edwards, who we know has got a very good submission game. Rode it out. Really nice job overall by Hamza.
No, we're not giving
That time when it's Fabiano Scherner in the crew, definitely paying off as Salim continues to round out his MMA game.
Very nice pass. Christian Edwards should put knee on belly right here. Gets the back.
too high.
Hamza decided to turn. I don't think that was a smart move on his part.
Like the hands, Hamza, we got to
You hear the corner saying, break him down first.
Hamza, keep control of the hand.
Be patient, keep it breathing.
Let's shake.
And when it's there, lock it in and finish.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's down. It's behind the head now. They didn't slide it in like BJ Penn would do, but that it can be tight. He's got to use his chin to lock that arm in place.
Got that figure four as well, so if he hips in behind him, that cut goes into the back. He starts hurting the spot down the back of the spine.
It's all over. Christian Edwards, the first to stop. Hamza Salim, he is 4-0 inside the Bellator cage.
Josh, there's little things to this game. You see when he gets that arm across the neck. Watch where the hand goes in. Look at the chin. Chin is on top of the hand. Now when he reaches for it, he can't pull it out. It's the little details that make the difference. You don't even have to squeeze hard here. It's a matter of time. I know I've got it locked in. There's nothing you can do. You're going to end up going to sleep. I'm just going to take my time, gets the tap. Beautiful job.
Yeah, the most important part for me was, like you said, the chin over the hand. That secures it so the hand can't be pulled out. But I like the figure four because that puts the pressure and stretches him out. Normally they'll lift the chin. Great job, great transition. Nice job by Edwards.
First career win by submission for Christian Edwards. So we have 19-year-old Abib Ghazali, 5-0 in his career, all in Bellator. 21-year-old Christian Edwards, now 4-0 with all of his wins inside the Bellator cage.
Love him. My man. What up, Joey? This whole cake you got.
And the first to stop Hamza Salim.
Only the pupils, only because of this guy. Coaches, you gotta come over here. Just coaches.
They brought him in on scholarship. Greg Jackson, Coach Wink, and the crew love the skill set and the attitude of Christian Edwards. To make it official, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 1 minute, 28 seconds into round number 2. The tap by way of a rear naked choke by submission. Still undefeated Christian Payne Edwards.
The victor will visit with Big John McCarthy.
Christian Edwards, that was a tough fight. You had all kinds of positions in the first round, and you weren't able to put him away. What were you thinking?
I was just trying to stay patient, stay calm, and, not hunt anything, just give what he gave me, like what he showed me, and I think I did a good job of that. I have to go back and watch it, but I think I did.
Big difference that we saw from the first round when you were trying that rear naked choke into the second round. Instead of putting that hand over the top, you slid it behind, you locked it down with your chin. Did you know it was over once you locked it in?
Oh, for sure. I knew, because I felt it slide under the chin. As soon as I knew it got under the chin, I knew it was a wrap. Shout out to Patrick Mix. That's his technique. It's my homeboy. And, I'm really happy to walk away with the win.
In your comments, you had talked about that you had gotten together with John Jones and done some film study on Hamza. How helpful was all of that for this performance?
Oh, it was super helpful, man. John, he's, one of my biggest idols. He's been doing this for a long time, and, any knowledge that he's able to share with me, I cherish it. Just like the same with Coach Wink, Coach Joey, and Coach Greg. I really cherish the knowledge that they share with me.
Well, congratulations on a beautiful submission victory against a super tough guy. That was an outstanding performance. Goldie, back to you.
Thanks, Big John. Joey Villasenor doing a great job as well with Christian Edwards, and he's got a ton of talented fighters to train with on a daily basis. Christian Edwards is 4-0 as a professional mixed martial artist. Let's get it back to Jen and the American Gangster.
Well, thanks, Goldie. 4 fights down, Chael, on our prelims. 3 more to go before we kick off on CBS Sports Network. And the 2 fighters that will start that card are kind of in a must-win situation. Syed Awad, it's been close, but he has really struggled in his last 4 fights. And he says he's back with his old coach, and he's hoping that's going to make the difference tonight against Nalo.
I think it's going to help. Hey, look, is it enough to bridge the gap? Let's find out. But, Jen, I like that. I never like when a guy leaves a coach, right? When something's working, you don't break it. Imagine if coach did that to the other guy. Hey, you lost. I'm out of here. I'm done training. No, it doesn't work that way. It's a family unit. It's got to be tight-knit. You got to be with people you trust. He made a mistake, but he righted it, and I want to see the improvement tonight.
Yeah, he said he's had that history with the coach for the last 10 years. He is still training with Coach Cal. He's still working with him in terms of cardio and what we see from him that way in the cage, but he's really excited to be back with his old coach. Now, Nalo tonight, Mendel Nalo, he's coming off his first loss of his career, 7-1. He wants to get back in the win column. Now, he says that he feels like experience is not a factor tonight. He's got 8 fights, right? Let's see. Awad's got 33, excuse me.
Sure.
Do you think experience is going to be a factor tonight?
Sure, and to Alo's point, Jen, I was there with you when he was talking about that. I thought he made a fair point. And what he said is, look, there's a sweet spot. At some point, do you need experience? Sure you do. At some point, have you been in there too many times? Have you left too much of yourself in the cage? I think he makes a very fair point. I don't know that I agree that that's going to be the difference in this contest. I think it's a little bit of a speed factor. Whoever can get to that target more often and quicker, I believe, is going to get their hand raised. But I do see something to his point.
Yeah, he talked about the diminished returns, but I liked his honesty. He said, look, I'm still young in this sport. I think it's going to play to my favor tonight, but I know I've got a lot more to go with where I'm in the sport. All right, that is a fight coming up later on tonight on CBS Sports Network. We will be back in just a few with a welterweight matchup for our undercard as it rolls on. Hey, Hey, Bellator Nation, follow us across a large array of digital platforms and stay up to date on everything you need to know. Like us on the Bellator Facebook page and see exclusive videos. Follow us and get instant updates on Twitter at Bellator MMA and get a chance to have your tweet live on the broadcast. See amazing pictures on Instagram at Bellator MMA. Join Bellator Nation today.
The belt is on the line when featherweight world champion Cyborg makes her first title defense against Australia's Arlene Anger Fist Blencowe. Live and free, Bellator MMA, tonight on CBS Sports Network.
A battle for the belt. Cyborg and Blencowe later tonight on CBS Sports Network. We roll on with our preliminary action as we get set for this welterweight matchup. Kyle Crutchford, the outstanding wrestler out of Oklahoma State.
Well, that was Crutchford against Patricki, and that's what we expect out of Kyle Crutchford. He's so good in the grappling. You saw him just lock in that darts, boom, gets the submission, but we know that Killer Chem is dangerous everywhere, and he is dangerous with leg locks. He has got a great submission game. That is a guy that Kyle Crutchford, he's got the better wrestling, but he needs to be careful when it hits the ground.
Killer Chem, Cameron Lachinov is on a 7-fight win streak. 4 of those inside the Bellator cage are tail of the tape for this welterweight matchup. Killer Chem, 3 years the elder of his opponent. He will have a 4-inch reach advantage. Once again, with the official introductions, the voice, Michael C. Williams.
Here tonight's prelims live on Bellator MMA's YouTube channel, we go to the welterweight division scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'10", weighing in 170.2 pounds. His professional record, 9 wins, 2 defeats. Fighting out of West Springfield, Massachusetts, Cameron Killer Chem Lachinov. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 5'9", weighing in 170.2 pounds, undefeated as a professional. He enters with 6 victories, no defeats. Fighting out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Kyle Crutchman. In charge, your referee, Kevin McDonald.
Kevin McDonald, our referee for this welterweight fight. These two men a combined 6-0 in Bellator. Lachinov is 4-0, Crutchford 2-0, and we are underway. Tonight's fight clock presented by Geico. Red gloves for Crutchford, Killer Chem in the blue gloves.
All right, let's get it out of the way. Full disclosure, I train with Kyle. I may be a little bit of a homer, so I'm just being upfront.
Just a little. That was a really nice low kick. That's the difference that we're seeing now in Kyle Crutchford from when he first came in. Just that. Look, there's that low calf kick we talk about all the time. You see how much power he's putting on that, and he just received one back.
He's a powerhouse in training. He's working on his head movement. He's got good power in his hands. Sometimes, though, he likes to get into those brawls and those exchanges. He doesn't want to do that right now in this fight.
And made his way to AKA, and thus training with you, Josh, and the team there because of his relationship through Oklahoma State Wrestling with Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, we've been blessed with a lot of good guys that have come out of Oklahoma State Wrestling, and it's going to continue to get better. We've seen a lot of the younger talent leaving the college as well and coming from the wrestling team to AKA as well. So I'm excited to see the new breed of talent come through AKA.
And some of the old school guys like Randy Couture, King Mo, Don Fry, Mark Munoz, Johnny Hendricks, the Rochelle brothers, Shane Roller. Pretty impressive list.
The list just goes on and on.
But the best of the best is the coach, the 2-time gold medalist, John Smith.
That was impressive that you remember that many names.
Yeah, a couple of them for Louisiana.
What's really impressive is when you watch someone like Kyle Crutchman. That was a beautiful right hand that just landed straight and powerful. But you're watching a guy that just comes from that wrestling background, but you see what he's doing now. You saw those low calf kicks. You saw the high kick, Josh, and you see him throw a beautiful combination like he just did. it just is, man, it's so nice to see someone become that mixed martial artist instead of just that wrestler grappler.
Well, they've had somebody in Daniel Cormier, Cain Velasquez, these guys, they've led the way for them. I mean, there's guys that they came from the wrestling background, but they didn't want to just be wrestlers that learned the jiu-jitsu portion of it all. They wanted to learn stand-up. Javier Mendez there, Bob Cook, all those guys. The focus has always been, you guys can wrestle. Let's teach you some jiu-jitsu, defensive jiu-jitsu, and let's move into the striking. But let's not rush it, okay? And that's kind of been the motto there at AKA, and it's worked. It's worked. They have plenty of world champions to prove it.
There's a couple. A lot of banners hanging on the wall. Kyle talked about having DC at AKA like when he had John Smith at Oklahoma State. Lachinov, as I mentioned, with this 7-fight win streak, all 4 of his Bellator wins have been right here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena.
That last check was that last kick was checked. See Kyle kind of take a couple steps back. Okay, let's let this settle in again a little bit.
You gotta like Lachinov. One of the things when you watch him, no excess movement. He doesn't waste energy at all. He just takes his time. But when he explodes, you'll see him. He's fast.
You're going to see something very similar from our main event, or one of our main card fighters in Patricki Pitbull as well. That's kind of what he does also.
Moved to the United States at a very young age, so Cameron has been here, moving from Russia at age 4, training in West Springfield, Massachusetts at Team Link.
Kyle's having success with 1 punch. 1 and 2, he needs to throw the 3rd. Even if he doesn't think it's going to land, he needs to throw it, because you just saw right there, a nice right hand. If he would have followed up with a 2 and a 3, could have potentially ended the fight.
10 in the East, 7 in the West. We are live coast to coast on CBS Sports Network. Our main event, Chris Cyborg, Arlene Blencowe for the Featherweight World Championship.
Look at the chin position. Look at where Lachinov keeps his chin, Josh. You know, some guys you look and he's got that chin tucked down, it's on the chest, so he doesn't give you that real good target. You can throw the shot, but a lot of times it's going to be bouncing off of the top of the head, the forehead area, and it's never the shot that's going to put it down.
Crutch hit him with some nice, clean shots. Lachinov hasn't really flinched a whole lot. You saw he kind of got stoned for a second, but he comes right back after it, takes the center of the cage, and waits for the fight to come back to him. Like you said, it doesn't waste a lot of energy. That's very impressive, even after a hard shot.
Getting the takedown. Lachinov just popping right back up.
Clean break.
Round 1 concludes. MVP empowers combat veterans and former professional athletes by connecting them after the uniform comes off, providing them with a new team to assist with transition, promote personal development, and show them they are never alone. To all of our combat vets, former fighters, and athletes, MVP has your back. Go to vetsandplayers.org to donate or join.
What up the shot? This is the last bit right here, the takedown by Kyle Crutchman. That was just kind of like the icing on the cake for the round. Never kept it down. When you look at that, people will say, was that a takedown? It really wasn't. It was a change of position, but it was a really good round overall for Kyle Crutchman.
Yeah, but what I was impressed with was the way that he got the double leg. He realized the guillotine was in a little bit. Chin was lifted. He spun through it, and that's how you defend it. Great job in the transition.
Tough round to score, Josh.
It was a tough round, and I'm not being a homer.
Not at all.
I would give it to Kyle, though. Slightly, though.
Crutchman wins the round.
No, John, it's Crutch.
Crutch.
Excuse me, I'm not the homer.
Sorry.
No, I liked it. Crutch in the red gloves. Killer Kemp in the blue gloves. Very close fight thus far. Both men extremely talented. Both men with one strike knockout power. And something that Josh alluded to, and that's the evolution of a boxer into a mixed martial artist or a wrestler in the case of Crutchman. And he said he believes that the fans will see the growth. He's been doing this for 2.5 years now, and he feels a lot more confident in all the aspects of the MMA game.
You can definitely see the growth. And one of the things no doubt, his patience in the game, his patience as a fighter, is not trying to end this fight fast, not trying to make something happen when it's not there, picking his moments. That just shows the maturity in his level of fighting right now.
Yeah, but John, you have to understand, this is a huge step up in competition for him. Okay, he's so good, so composed. He's been through all of this before. And you see it, like he just threw the kick, put himself out of position, came back right into the double leg. Both of them were having good exchanges and both being smart fighters.
Kyle Crutchman received quite a battle, John, in his Bellator debut. Had to go the distance against a fighter that took the battle on 4 days' notice, but it turned out to be a good thing because of the experience of the 15 minutes in the cage.
Sometimes the minutes that you're able to put in the cage under the lights, when it's for real, those are invaluable. As long as you don't get damaged in those minutes, it's a good thing that you went into a long fight.
Well, here's the other thing. I think a lot of wrestlers come out in phenomenal shape for wrestling. Wrestling is 6 minutes. It's not 15. So after 6 minutes, they're like, hey, what are we doing? And they're like, we're going the rest of these rounds, buddy. So it was a little, I'm glad we talked on that. It was a good reality check of, hey, I need to be in better shape. Not just wrestling shape for 6 minutes. I need to be in marathon shape. 15 minutes, ready to go. I think it was a good reality check for him.
6 minutes, you're looking to put the sweats back on.
Just past the midway point of this 3-round fight. The pandemic allowed Kyle Crutchman some quiet time with his daughter, Blakely Ray, born March 25th. Congratulations. No quiet time with his newborn.
May not have done that perfectly technique-wise, but I like the fact that he goes after the spinning back kick there.
Kind of landed on the elbow, though, so I don't know how he's feeling right now.
Kind of pressed the space a little bit on it, but he's just showing, he's putting more and more tools in that toolbox. His repertoire is opening up. Rashinov's starting to walk a little bit easy on that lead leg.
Yep. You can see he kind of opened it. He just stepped out wide real quick, and his leg kind of buckled on him a tiny bit.
He's feeling those kicks.
But I think Kyle's feeling it as well in the inside leg kick as well as the outside, because you see Kyle also not trying to engage too much. He's making sure he stays on that outside range so his leg doesn't take more damage. It's really going to come down to who can walk at the end of the second round.
Or who can walk with less of a limp, right, Josh?
Yes.
Well, the one thing that's going to happen if being that Kyle Crutchman has such a solid wrestling background, you take away that lead leg, the takedown gets much easier. So if he gets in trouble, he can always go towards that wrestling and take it down and put himself in a position where he can get himself back in the fight, take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful. Lachinov's got a really good arming guillotine as well as a guillotine, and we saw it at the end of that first round as well.
And a super effective leg lock game. He definitely goes after the knee bars.
All 3 of his submission wins have come via that knee bar that John talked about. Good counter a moment ago by Lachinov with the left hand. Final 30 seconds of round 2.
John, this is a really close round. One person needs to do something decisive in this next 20 seconds to win the round.
Might we see a shot?
We will see a shot. He's waiting for Lachinov to come forward, and there it is. Not a good one.
Yep, nice job done by Killer Chem. I think he knew we were going to see it too.
Lachinov feeling exactly like you, Josh, going after it in the last 10 seconds.
Stop.
Okay. It's a good fight. Very evenly contested.
Very even. They're different in styles, different in their effectiveness of certain techniques, but both guys are still. So this fight is up for grabs.
But he's really looking for that counter on the leg. Okay. So no more on the leg. You can go high though, because he's not looking for that. You can go high. Try to high. You can wrestle some, but I need you to let your hands go. When you're pressing him back, you need to let nice straight 1s and 2s go, nice and quick. Nice and quick and move out, and you can wrestle too. So, but I don't need you worried about the wrestling. I just need you busier. I need you more active. You let him control the center of the ring a little too much that one. Okay. I need you a little busier.
Crazy Bob Cook.
I spent 20 years listening to Bob Cook in my ear in that corner. The one thing I didn't like is I don't want you to get away from the calf kick, but I want you to set it up as I didn't like what Bob said there. Stay on the calf kick, but throw it, set it up differently. Don't just go, I call it raw dog. Just throw it by itself, and that's what Kyle's been doing. So the counter's been available. With the straight 1-2s down the pipe, he had success in the first round. Got away from it a little bit in the second.
Wow, you just disagreed with your longtime head coach.
And I'm going to hear it.
You are in big trouble. Josh is in timeout.
Third and final round.
Both guys in this fight should have the urgency of, I need to win this round.
Big John, are we even, or is Crutchmer up too long?
I actually think Crutchmer is up in this fight, but it's nothing that, Lashnov couldn't at any moment take over in this fight.
I'm not going to be a homer. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to have it 1-1. I have it 1-1. And I'm only just being honest because I thought Kyle could have done a little bit more in the second. He had some success in some things, but the end of the round, I think, is what stole the round for Lashnov. By putting the pressure, it's a bad look. And I know John says judges don't look at that.
Pressure means nothing if there's nothing that lands.
I agree with you. I understand what you're saying, but judges don't always look at it that way. They're supposed to.
Stuff takedown and then letting the hands go.
Yeah.
That's why fighters don't like going to a decision. And that's why you guys just made the comment. Both fighters need to show a sense of urgency in the next 3 minutes and 52 seconds.
So one of the things you'll see is the difference. Watch Lashnov when he comes in. Look at he's got head movement. He's taking his head off the center line right now. Kyle's more of a static target, Josh.
Yeah, not only that, he needs to throw it. If you see that he can see his punches coming now, Kyle looks like he's not throwing enough. He needs to go inside leg, outside leg, set it up with the hands. There's that third punch that I said would land.
You gotta love the reaction. Look at Lashnov. Go ahead, hit me. He's going Kimbo slice.
I like the composure by Kyle, though, not to let it go.
Bob Cook saying exactly what I would have said. Yeah, you heard him do it again.
John, when you and I talked about Killer Cameron Lashnov earlier this week, you said, and I quote, he is the real deal.
He is. He can fight, man. A lot of people will look at him and go, oh, he doesn't look like, he's not that guy that's flashy, but man, he's effective. He is good at what he does. You can see, the way he holds himself in the fight, he doesn't burn any excess energy. But when he explodes, he's got a lot of power. He's a good fighter.
He's got a good mean face, too.
He just did a really dumb thing, putting his hands down, and it's a nice growl, but it doesn't get you anywhere.
Once in a while, it gets you knocked out. Just past the midway point, third and final round, they clinch.
Nice high double underhooks by Kyle. This is a position, if he wants to bring it to the ground, Josh, he's got the ability to from this position.
Yeah, and I like this position here because it takes away the guillotine. Notice how the forehead's under the chin. If he's able to kind of foot sweep out, put him to his butt, he's trying to control the position there. We've seen Kyle's game has been elevated lately on the ground, training with Ron Kessler and the guys over at AKA.
Well, Kyle said pre-fight that he feels that he can dictate where this fight goes. Let's see if he dictates this fight going to the ground here.
In his last fight, you saw Crutchford from a standing position shoot the anaconda, take it to the ground, lock it up, get the sub. He's got that ability. He needs to be very careful in rolling into a leg lock position here, Josh.
Under 90 seconds.
I think that's a big reason why they didn't focus on the takedowns for this fight, because they understood that if you leave yourself in one position, the guillotine, arming guillotine, the leg lock roll position, those will be available for Kyle. Kyle's doing a good job. This is a good time for him to get his breath, maintain his position, and it looks like he's winning the match. He's got to be a little bit more busy, though, with the knees. I like how he's got the upper body lock. He needs to elevate his underhook a tiny bit so he can start working the knees underneath that elbow.
Exactly.
Kyle Crutchmer, 6-0 as a professional, 2-0 in Bellator. Elevate professional win. Sorry, Josh.
He's just going to elevate the underhook so he can press him back to the fence. Keep that underhook elevated, and that'll keep his back to the fence. Then he can go ahead and let his knees go.
There he is, elevating it now, leaning it off.
Good knee. Nice call, Josh.
Beautiful knee. He's gonna latch it off. Being a good wrestler, he's a good wrestler himself, but just not the Kyle level. You're not gonna hit Kyle with something like that.
Two-time All-American, two-time Big 12 champion at Oklahoma State. Looking to move to 7-0 as a professional mixed martial artist.
There's that roll through, like you said.
Final seconds of this fight.
There's the figure for that leg.
Push.
They go the distance.
Good fight by both guys. Very, very high fight IQs on both guys, except for when he put his hands down. He took the shot in the face.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go your three judges at cage side. All three judges, Mike Murtha, Michael Bell, David Peabody, all have it exactly the same, 29-28. All have it for the win by unanimous decision, Cameron Killer Cam Latchino.
Killer Cam moves his win streak to 8. 5 of those in Bellator. Congratulations to Killer Cam, winner by unanimous decision.
Just the one message.
John, I'm gonna let you talk because
I don't see that at all. I'm always looking to say, all right, who's the guy that is landing the cleaner shots overall? And there was times, especially the second round, I can agree with you that Latchinoff landed probably the better, but no doubt, third round definitely goes to Crutchman, and first round went to him too, in my opinion.
Well, let's get upstairs to Jen and Chael and get the gangsters' thoughts. Jen.
Well, thanks, Goldie. Hey, we've got a stack card coming our way from top to bottom on CBS Sports Network. That's live 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. The night kicks off, of course. We've got the veteran and the newcomer bringing it and throwing down. Sadawat takes on Mandel Nalo. And, of course, we've got what should be an explosive matchup in our co-main event. Patricki Pitbull taking on Jaleel Willis. Now, Chael, let's talk about our main event because it's Chris Cyborg's first Bellator title defense here. She is coming in, says that she is ready. Arlene Blencowe This is her second title fight. She says she wasn't ready in 2017 when she faced Julia Budd. Is she ready tonight?
I believe her. I mean, I believe that mentally she's ready. I will also tell you, people that want to talk about the mental side are trying to sell you a book on Amazon. This is a physicality sport. You do not get judged by the guys sitting ringside called judges because you thought positively. You either hit the person or you didn't. And I think that's the big question. You have to swarm Cris Cyborg. You've got to put her on defense. She's not a huge counter puncher. She is offensive. She is aggressive. If you can swarm her and force her on the defense, you can have good moments. But don't make believe you're going to take her down and keep her there. Don't make believe you're going to find a submission somewhere in this fight. You're going to have to put her down.
Marlene Blencowe said she is mentally and physically ready heading in tonight, but it is a tough test in Cris Cyborg. She is a legend in this sport. I mean, her fight resume speaks for itself. You look at this, Chael. I mean, look, she's a 4-time MMA world champion. This is her 14th world title fight. You know, she holds wins over notable names like Julia Budd, Gina Carano. She's got win over Marloes Coenen, 18 knockouts of her 22 wins. It is incredible. We know that she is looking to defend that belt tonight, and our own Josh Thompson got to check out and catch up with her yesterday at the weigh-ins. Let's take a look.
So you're back with your coach, Rafael Cordero, who started you in your career. Talk to me about how that experience has been.
Now, for me, doing great because now Rafael Cordero teaching me the first kick, first punch, and back to training for him for this camp. Reminded me a lot of things at the beginning of my career, just motivate me every day and training hard every day.
So what changes have you made since training with him the first time and then training with him now?
You know, I think he matured, you know, experience, because when I started training for him, I didn't know anything, and it passed like almost 13 years we started to work together.
Blencowe has a common opponent with Julia Budd as well as yourself. She lost a very controversial decision to her. You were able to finish Julia Budd. Talk to me about how you've been able to prepare for Blencowe for this fight.
You know, I trained before this camp. I was working on with Virgil Ortiz about boxing. You know, maybe I was gonna have boxing match. I work a lot of boxing too, and I knew I was gonna fight Erling Blank too, MMA. And I know it's mix martial arts. I work everything, and I prepare for everything: the ground game, grappling, strike, everything.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
She is still the most feared female in mixed martial arts history. She is set in our main event to look to defend her belt here in Bellator for the very first time.
And now ready to make his way to the cage, Joseph, the Dark Knight Creer.
Born in Detroit, Michigan, fighting out of Columbus, Georgia, Joseph Creer. Coming off a unanimous decision win back in Hawaii in our Fight for the Troops, December 20th, 2019.
And now his opponent making his way to the cage, Andrew Capel.
Andrew Capel just fought John Salter here less than 2 months ago. Had his 5-fight win streak snapped by that third-round arm triangle choke placed upon him by John Salter. But, guys, this is also the man who knocked out King Mo on 1 foot.
Yeah, well, John Salter tends to end a lot of win streaks. He's that grinding grappler that if he gets you down, his submission game is so good. He's so dangerous down there and doesn't make mistakes. So losing to John Salter on a submission late in the fight, there's nothing to say about that. That's not, you can't feel bad about it. It happens to a lot of guys. But Joseph Creer against Andrew Capel here. This is a great matchup, Mike. Both these guys are outstanding on the ground, on the feet. This is a very evenly matched fight.
Our tail of the tape for this middleweight matchup. 15 career wins for 35-year-old Andrew Capel. Both men 6'3". Very long reach. Should be an outstanding battle. Here is Michael C. Williams.
Tonight here at the Bellator 249 prelims, we go to the middleweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 6'3", weighing in 183.3 pounds. His professional record, 7 wins, 1 loss with 1 draw. From Columbus, Georgia, he fights out of Detroit, Michigan, Joseph the Dark Knight Creer. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 6'3", weighing in 185.8 pounds. As a professional, 15 victories against 7 defeats by way of Minneapolis. He fights out of Denver, Colorado, Andrew Capel. In charge, referee Kevin McDonald.
Kevin McDonald, our referee, our final preliminary matchup. From the Mohegan Sun Arena, Capel and Creer. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Ready to fight? Ready to fight? Let's go.
Here we go. Tonight's fight clock is presented by Geico. Creer, a switch stance fighter, comes out southpaw. He's in the blue gloves. Andrew Capel in the red gloves.
Andrew Capel just hit him with that right up kick, what we call an attention getter. Didn't hurt him, but it definitely got his attention.
Good right hand. Beautiful.
Creer fighting out of Bad Apple MMA, the Outsiders fight team in Columbus, Georgia. Elevation fight team for Andrew Capel.
It's one of the things when you're seeing these guys and you watch their fights, they're so comparable, both in stand-up. Maybe Andrew Capel has the advantage a little bit in the stand-up, and maybe that Creer has the advantage a little bit on the ground. So conditioning, which you know, Josh, you are in control of. Conditioning may be the difference in this fight.
Yeah, conditioning to me has always been the biggest factor. Making sure that you're in shape to go the full 3 rounds, to be able to push the pace when your opponent is exhausted or tired or starting to slow down.
Which brings up the point that when you fight out of Denver, Colorado, you're training every day at altitude. That can help the gas tank tremendously. Nice right hand.
That was a big right hand. That hurt Creer.
Good clinch.
Nice inside elbow. Big thing you don't want to do. Nice job by Andrew Capel, because you don't want to crush that space too much. You want to keep yourself at range so your punches are not being crushed by your movement.
That's it. Good.
Capel, 12 victories in Muay Thai, which he began training at age 17. 11 of those were by knockout. So we know his striking is very good.
Keep it there. Stay long. Zone 3 here. Outside 6.
What you see from Capel, though, is not a lot of wasted movement. Elbows are down, chin's down. He's got hit with a couple clean shots already tonight, but he just keeps doing what he's doing. He's trucking away and small little movements and setting up whatever right there. See, small little head movement, hands staying tight to the chin, letting it go.
That right hand landed flush again. Creer needs to really start thinking about moving away from the power of Andrew Capel.
Duke Rufus always calls it economy of motion.
John, you said that Creer probably has the advantage on the ground. Capel obviously has it looks like he has the advantage on the feet, just slightly. Who has the advantage, though, in the wrestling?
You know, neither guy is that guy you look and say, oh, he came from a good wrestling background. Both of them have learned their wrestling through being an MMA fighter. So I think actually it's very close to even. But if I was going to give the advantage, I would give it to Joseph Creer. When he goes for the takedown, he does have the ability to get in deep. He knows exactly how to turn the corner. He knows what he's doing. So he's got the advantage in the grappling area, although Capel is good there, so it's not like it's a huge advantage.
And Capel spent some time early in his career at the Minnesota Martial Arts Academy. Some good wrestlers have come out of there over the years. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Greg Nelson does a pretty good job with everyone out of there.
Yes, he does. And a good job.
There was also this guy named Brock something that was starting out there.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Sounds like a fake name.
Yeah, exactly. Brock, Louisiana, or Lesnar, or something.
Hey, let's be fast here. Let's be fast.
The muscle shark was the man, though, Sean Shirk, for many years.
You talk about a guy that had just an incredible career. And at one time he was about 20, maybe 20-1. Just could not get guys to fight him.
Yes.
You're seeing everything right now. Beautiful job. Yeah, nothing there.
60 seconds on the clock. Round one. Capel in the red, Creer in the blue.
Yeah.
Capel has had a lot of success with that right leg. He's brought that kick up high. He's had it low.
Andrew Capel has finished 14 of his 15 career wins.
This is the difference that I'm seeing in the two stand-ups right now. Creer is jumping in, lunging in, and doing that right there, leaving himself out of position to be countered. Capel was able to counter off some nice strikes, slip, move, throw the right hand, but wasn't able to stop the takedown.
But this is where, you know, Joseph Creer, when he gets to the stool, his corner needs to talk about, hey, I need you to stop just being that stand-up guy. I need you to work towards getting this takedown, just like you did at the end of the round.
10 seconds. Final seconds of the first.
Stop. Clean break.
Breath. Gonna take your mouth guard out. Good job. Good. I'm gonna set this right behind you, okay? Give me a big deep breath. Take a sip of water. Hey, you hear? Good. Beautiful round, right? We may have given up at the end because of the takedown, so we gotta wrestle. We gotta wrestle. Listen, your hook is landing. Bring your cross right after it, right down the middle, and let's keep going to the body. He does not like, your hand is, okay, well, that's okay. So let's start going elbows too, right? Muay Thai, let's fight him Muay Thai. Let's kickbox him. Oh, give me a big deep breath. Good.
John, you and I have talked about this a lot. He did not lose that round because of the takedown at the very end. No. Nothing was really done after the takedown as well.
Back to the corner, please.
Capel landed, obviously, the cleaner, harder shots. You heard in the corner, he said he had a problem with his hands. So he's going to start trying to use elbows, start trying to dirty box, or not dirty box, but use knees and elbows against the fence.
Round two.
Creer did good work when he got the fight down there. He landed a couple elbows, but nothing to make up what Capel had landed during all that time in the stand.
60 minutes away from our main card live on CBS Sports Network. Our main event, Chris Cyborg, Arlene Blencowe for the Bellator Featherweight World Championship.
Those of you at home in that corner, I don't know if you guys heard that, but when Capel said, "Oh, my hand," the coach just went over it real quick and they moved on. That just lets you know, like, hey, we're not even thinking about the fact that my hand's broken. We're going to stop this fight. We're going to keep fighting. I'm just going to change the game plan and adapt. He said, okay, let's get some elbows going. And Capel looked at him and said, yep, let's go. And so that right there, that's the sign of a true fighter. I love seeing the composure in the corner between the coach and the fighter being on the same page.
And John, not to be rude, but you were very incorrect about Sean Shirk. He was 19-0-1. He wasn't 20-0 when he fought Matt Hughes for a championship.
I said he was 20-1 at one point. Well, I was right then.
Well, see, 21-1. You're right. I'm just kidding you, partner. And you're bigger than me and much older, so I'll be respectful.
By nice hip toss.
Watch your hands here. Good. Suck him down.
Not exactly the position I think he should be in against Creer, but if he's in tight, and again, one of his hands might be hurt. Now that he's in tight, elbows are a big weapon. Does not want to end up underneath Creer.
I speak from experience right there in that position. If his hand is really hurt or broken, that grip that he's holding, it hurts. People, anytime you lock your hands, it's not something you want to be doing, but you know you have to do it or you're going to lose the position.
So one would think, Josh, that you're better off not striking, but you get yourself in grappling positions where the pain is also there. Accidental eye poke, it appears.
Creer just pushed off and away. I think one of the fingers went in his face and touched his eye.
You see it okay?
They're going to give him time.
It's blurry.
Do you want me to call the doctor in?
No.
You sure?
But you hear what he said. It's blurry, but it's blurry. they're going to give him time. That's the whole point. If you want to be in this fight, you got to say, hey,
Step back for me for a second, okay? All right.
And what did he say when he was asked about the doctor? No.
No, I don't want to see him. I'm good.
Nobody talked about that.
By the way, nobody
Okay,
wants
let's
to
keep it clean, okay? Let's go.
It's like saying, do you want to go to the dentist? Absolutely not.
Hey, let's kickbox.
Round 2, Mike over Josh Thompson, Big John McCarthy, Jen Brown, Chael P. Sun. Our final preliminary matchup.
Joseph Creer has really switched to the southpaw position. He's feeling better, and he feels like he's doing better in the stand-up game while he's out of that southpaw stance. He started this as an orthodox stance. Nice stiff jab.
Let me take you through the mentality, though, or the mental game right now that Capel's going through. My hand's probably hurt or broken. Okay, I've got to make adjustments. How am I going to do that to change this game? How am I going to stop Creer from coming at me, knowing that I can only probably throw elbows to this side? I can probably only try to pummel on one side. There's a lot of things that he's battling with himself right now, understanding that his hands hurt.
Well, you know, one of the things that we talk about, you want, if you're in that position, you're going to stay in this fight. Well, then start punching with that hand until it goes numb.
Good. Hey, get your left knee clear here. Get your guard back. Get your left knee through. Yes, good. Keep going. Get your foot all the way through, Andrew.
But we saw when he fought John Salter that his bottom game is good. He's got a good hook sweep, but he also creates a lot of distance with his long legs. So like you see here, he's pushing on those hips with those feet, trying to kick his Creer back.
Creer's done a good job of just very smoothly passing his guard, though he steps up, he puts pressure down on the leg, he slides his knee past the leg, comes down into side control. Now Capel making the choice of getting back to his feet, gave his back. Nice job of switching and reversing the position.
Working inside the guard of Joseph Creer.
Yes, good. Keep your hands inside. Nice. Hands inside.
Nice slicing elbow with the left hand.
Good. Hands inside.
What happens is you guys just saw him hit with both hands. But just a reminder that sometimes the adrenaline's going, and after, as you said, sometimes it'll go numb, but it's not even that. You don't feel pain for a second, and so you're like, okay, I'm going to throw it, and you throw it, and you're like, oh, what did I do?
Watch your right arm. Good. Watch the triangle. Up. Posture up. Yep. Stand up if you can. All the way up.
Good posture right now, and that's going to keep Creer from being able to do it, but it's once the posture's broken, you can get in trouble. Nice job of getting out.
I've always been a big fan of that, escaping a submission and coming right back with strikes, making them pay for their attempt at a submission.
And a good job listening to his corner, and of course in the environment that we live in right now, the corner comes through very clearly. Of course, many fighters will say it doesn't matter if there's 100,000 people, you always hear your coach's voice.
Yes,
That's not true.
Posture and go.
But there is a little bit of truth to it, but at 100,000 people, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah, maybe.
Clean range. Watch it.
Okay, listen. Take a big deep breath for me. Big deep breath. Good. Lean back. Good. We're winning. Listen, we're winning, but we got 5 minutes, and he knows he's behind. So that means he's coming. But guess what? Guess what? We're coming. Yeah. Set it up, okay? But big deep breath.
It's strike, and then whenever they're short time, I'm gonna let you know, and then you're gonna get the takedown. You're just gonna control it from there. You got it? Yep. All right. Working your Giorgio combos. Come on. Put all that blood out.
Seconds out. Hey, do me a favor, just stand right over here. Doc's gonna check that cut, so.
You heard Creer's corner tell him, like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and keep it on the feet, but when there's short time, I'm gonna have you get the takedown, and then do your work from there. I think they're looking to try and steal the round, thinking that it's 1-1.
Okay, that cut you're looking at, that is not a good cut. That's what we call an up and down cut going with the eye.
You're calling it?
It is not good. Yeah.
Oh, it's ready for the third.
A slicing elbow. You see when Capel lands that elbow, that's what cuts him, but it cuts him straight up and down. When we get bone on bone, many times we get that up and down cut, and it crosses what they'll call multiple structures of muscle layer. It's hard for the doctors to suture it and make it so there is no lasting injury based upon the muscle not working right.
John, the silver lining in all of this, though, is broken hand led to elbows that did the cut.
I have nothing else.
I'm trying to take the positive out of it all.
And the disappointment for Joseph Creer is at the end of the second round, much like his fight against Austin Vanderford, doctor stoppage due to cuts.
Due to cuts.
So he's a gamer, there's no doubt, but it's understandable you don't want any type of permanent injury, and that is nasty.
Elbows on the ground have been the nemesis of Joseph Creer.
Yes, they have. Capel rebounds from having his 5-fight win streak snapped and earns the victory after 10 minutes.
I love you. Ray, Wanda, I love you guys. Carlos, happy birthday. Kyle, happy birthday. This regardless of the outcome.
Nice shout out from the Dark Knight, Joseph Creer. Good win for Andrew Capel.
Yep, good job.
Now the hand's really starting to hurt. He's shaking it out.
He feels it now. There goes the adrenaline. It's gone.
Michael C. Williams will make this one official.
He's probably angrily texting right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a result of the cut near the eye and upon the advice of the cage-side physician, referee Kevin McDonald waves off the contest officially. 5 minutes, round number 2, the winner by TKO, Andrew Capel.
Andrew Capel gets some applause from a game opponent in Joseph Creer as he's able to earn the victory, his second inside the Bellator cage. Andrew Capel, the winner by TKO. The fall festivities continue 2 weeks from tonight with a dream matchup between two of the sport's best. It's Bellator's welterweight champion, Douglas Lima, moving up to 185 to battle 5-time world champ, Gegard Mousasi, for the vacant middleweight world title. That's Thursday, October 29th, 8 o'clock Eastern, live on CBS Sports Network. Then in November, Bellator delivers 3 straight weeks of spectacular live action. On Thursday, November 5th, Corey Anderson will get a hard-hitting welcome to the Bellator cage when he faces Melvin No Mercy Manhoff in a light heavyweight showdown. Then, on Thursday, November 12th, it's the eagerly awaited semifinals of the Featherweight World Grand Prix, as two-division champion Patricio Pitbull defends his title at 145 against Pedro Cavallo. And the trifecta ends with another Featherweight World Grand Prix semifinal fight. On Thursday the 19th, 16-0, AJ Mckee takes on former world champion Darion Caldwell in an explosive matchup live on CBS Sports Network. As the weather cools down, the action heats up in the Bellator cage. For tickets and more information, visit Bellator.com.
Well, we've got some great matchups coming up over the next few weeks, and we have a great main card tonight. We are going to be live and free from coast to coast. That's 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on CBS Sports Network. Chael, we've talked about it all night. We've got Chris Cyborg. She's defending her featherweight belt, first time here in Bellator, against a 2-time champ in Arlene Blencowe. We talked about it earlier. Arlene Blencowe says she's coming in. She's ready to go. She's at the best shape she's been in. So if we get the best, if she gets the best, Arlene Blencowe tonight, what does Chris Cyborg need to do to win?
Okay, so Chris needs to get to the target first, right? One of these two athletes is going to have to respect the other, which means they're going to back down, which means they're going to be a little bit cautious. It means they're going to wait a little bit. And look, when Cyborg's fighting, it is about output. We have not seen a young lady yet who can match her output. Blencowe has the conditioning. She has the boxing. I believe on paper, I'm putting myself in this spot. Jen, what would I do if I was Cyborg? And I knew I was fighting a 2-time boxing champion. I'm going to respect them. I just am. But Blencowe needs to go out and reinforce that. She needs to get on Cyborg and get on her early. Like when Blencowe throws punches, she does not throw one and then do what we call look at your work. She will throw one to set up the 2, to set up the 3, to set up the 4. When she's throwing punches in bunches, as Clayton Heyer says, that's when she's doing her best work, but only one can go. This is a dance. Somebody's going to lead and somebody's going to follow.
Well, you know that Cyborg, when she faces those pressure fighters, she likes to push them up against the fence. She likes to do that dirty boxing. How does Blencowe stay off the fence, off the cage tonight, and stay in that boxing range where she's so good?
Okay, an analyst like me is going to tell you footwork. Nobody knows what footwork means. Footwork is the most overrated thing in the sport. It just means how your feet are moving. But that is the answer. Look, she's got a circle. If you don't want to be on the fence, Randy Couture used to tell me before I'd fight, imagine the fence is hot. It's scalding hot. If your back gets on it, it's going to burn. I keep that in my mind to get off the fence. Those are things that she needed to have worked on in practice. If the hay is in the barn at this point, if she can do that, I think it's going to be a major asset. I would also encourage her to lock up with Cyborg and push Cyborg into the fence. Holly Holm had some major success with that. Cyborg was a bit of a deer in the headlights. That had never happened to her before. I only offer you that because if you study Cyborg's career and you're trying to find fights that she lost, you're not going to have much luck. If you try to find rounds that she lost, you're not going to have a lot of luck. But you can find moments and positions, and Jen, that is one of them.
Well, a lot of questions to be answered from Arlene Blencowe tonight, as well as Chris Cyborg. But our Josh Thompson caught up with the two-time former boxing champ yesterday at weigh-ins.
So you and Cyborg have a common opponent in Julia Budd.
Yep.
You lost a controversial decision against her, whereas Cyborg was able to get the finish.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you got from Cyborg's performance in that fight.
Obviously, I lost to Julia 3 years ago. Yeah, like you said, a split decision. I've adapted as a fighter since then. So, I learned it. I took that fight and worked on the things that I needed to improve on. But yeah, styles make fights. Opponents, one opponent, you can lose to one opponent and then go on to beat the next opponent. So yeah, I think this is a good matchup for me. Obviously, Cyborg's a striker. That's her strength as well. So yeah, I hope we'll put a good fight on for the fans.
You talked about you worked on some of your differences. What were some of the things that you felt like you needed to work on that you were able to work on for this camp?
Not holding back. That fight was so close. If I just had given it more, left it in the cage, that was the biggest thing that I was kicking myself about for a long time after that fight was that, yeah, it's 5 rounds for the world title. Give it everything. So that was the biggest thing. In this fight, for the 5-5s, we've trained and pushed myself, been pushed to the absolute limit. So.
What does it mean to you to take the Bellator title back to Australia amongst all the people, your kids, your family, your friends, everyone for your country? What does it mean to you?
It means everything. This is it. This is the fight. This is the fight of my career for more than one reason. Like I've said in many interviews, 4 career goals in one with this fight. The fact that I get to fight Chris, she's been the top of the rankings my whole career and someone that I've always wanted to fight. Made that very, very clear that she's someone that I've wanted to fight. The Bellator world title that I let slip through my hands a few years ago. I've worked my absolute arse off for the last 3 years to get back to here. Amongst other career goals, I'll be a dual, boxing world champion and MMA world champion. Only other person that's done that's Holly Holm. So I'll be making history.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, she talked about what it would mean to bring that belt back to Australia. When we talked to her this week, she talked about how she got emotional when she was taking her photos with the belt, in preparation if she wins tonight, if she does win tonight, Chael. What does that say about Arlene Blencowe?
Well, listen, the term fighter has been corrupted over my lifetime. Now it's about the punches and the kicks. But, Jen, when I was growing up, a fighter is somebody that got up when it was hard. She has done that. She has worked her way back. She has climbed her way back multiple times. She says how hard she worked for this, Jen. It's true. She would have had to have.
Well, that is our main event coming up on CBS Sports Network at the top of the hour. We've also got 3 other additional fights. Now, here's a look at our new main card lineup that's coming your way at the top of the hour. Lightweight Syed, the Assassin Awad, is taking on Mandel now. They are moments away from making the walk to the cage. Now, Steve Mowry is taking on Sean Tweed. That fight has now been elevated to our main card. That means that Ricky Bandejas and Leandro Ego is now our new co-main event. And then we've got Awad taking on now, as I said, but it's a great card. It's a great lineup, and that's going to be at the top of the hour. We will be live on CBS Sports Network, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. See you over in just a bit.
The belt is on the line when featherweight world champion Chris Cyborg makes her first title defense against Australia's Arlene Anger Fist Blencowe. Live and free, Bellator MMA, next on CBS Sports Network.